Hello, my name is Bruce Varney and I go to the Tigard campus. I'm here to present you today's thoughts that are based upon 2 Chronicles 16:9. For the eyes of the Lord range throughout the earth to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to Him. This is the story of Fred and Jimmy. Back in 1981, I was given my first important career responsibility as a warehouse grocery store manager. As soon as I got there, I kind of observed the lay of the land, the people, the employees, the customers, the facilities, the neighborhood. My assistant was Fred. Fred was in his mid-50s. Fred had drunk a fair number of Coors and smoked quite a few Marlboros in his life and was not as energetic as he was in the past. He'd been there for well over 20 years, making him about 20 years older than me. Jimmy was an ambitious and intense young guy I hired right after I got the job. He was a young guy from my church, so we had this common bond that was important. Fred made more than Jimmy because of his level of responsibility and his job title. He's really good with customers. He managed areas of the warehouse that were not as desirable a job as others. Jimmy was new, quick, steady, bright, could work circles around Fred. He got his work done quickly and correctly. But he was cocky enough to put customers off a little. You know the type. A little too smart, a little too accommodating, almost condescending. Jimmy would sometimes throw his speed and energy in Fred's face to try to get his goat. At one point, Jimmy had a conversation with me about getting ahead. He wanted Fred's job. He pointed out to me the many ways he was much sharper and efficient and better than Fred, how he could contribute more than Fred. I asked him how much of his efforts he used to be better than Fred. He told me he could operate at about 70% capacity to keep ahead of Fred. He also told me how much more he could do if he were in Fred's position. I told him that Fred was there when I needed him. He worked extra hours. He took crummy departments and didn't complain. I could trust him. He could run the place when I was gone. But here's the important thing. Fred gave me 100% of what he had. Did he go home tired and dragging? You bet he did. Did he return the next day and do it again? You bet. Did he show up at tough times when I really needed him? He sure did. I told Jimmy, don't tell me about Fred. Tell me about Jimmy. I'll help you with your career, but I gotta see 100% of what you can give before I'll even consider your request. I reminded him that day of his responsibilities to the Lord, to other people, and especially Fred, and to himself in light of Romans 12, which says, "Therefore I urge you, my brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be renewed and transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." God seeks and accepts our faithfulness based upon His grace that's given to us and the fact that He has blessed us with every good and perfect gift we need. So the lesson here, don't be like Jimmy. So what's the story, the end of the story? Fred has long since passed on, but Jimmy is now responsible for the largest district of that same company that I worked at. He's happily married, got 2 kids, and guess what? He still loves the Lord.